Why data structure matters. The way you organize your data from the start makes a massive difference in what you can actually do with it later. Get this right, and tasks like building pivot tables, creating reports, or even simple filtering become almost effortless. Get it wrong, and you'll find yourself fighting your own spreadsheet. So let's talk about how to set up your data properly. This is foundational stuff. The 3 ways data shows up. When you're working with data in Excel, you'll typically encounter it arranged in one of 3 formats: a spreadsheet report layout, a flat data file, or tabular format. Each one has its place, but they're definitely not equal when it comes to analysis. Let me walk you through all 3 so you can see exactly what I mean. The spreadsheet report layout. Imagine you've got sales data broken up into little mini tables, one for each continent or region. Each of these mini tables has the same column headings, maybe showing sales amounts and category. It looks tidy. It might even look professional if you're presenting high-level numbers to management. But here's the problem. This layout is terrible for analysis. Try sorting one of those mini tables, and Excel will only sort the data within that specific table. The other tables sitting nearby, they won't budge. Your data is fragmented, and that fragmentation makes it incredibly difficult to work with as a whole. The repeated labels and separated sections are really just there to make things look nice. They serve an aesthetic purpose, not a functional one. In my experience, if you're planning to do any kind of serious analysis, this is the layout you want to avoid. It creates what I'd call an ineffective data model. Things just don't connect the way they should. The flat data layout. Now this is where things start improving. A flat data file takes that same information and consolidates it into a single continuous structure. Instead of scattered mini tables, you have one unified list for continents. Then you might have additional columns showing January sales, February sales, March sales, April sales. You get the idea. Each row represents a single line of data, which we call a record. Each column represents a specific piece of information about that record, which we call a field. This is a much more effective way to organize things. You can sort it, filter it, build pivot tables from it. Analysis actually becomes possible. So flat files are good. They're definitely better than the spreadsheet report approach. But there's an even better option. Tabular format, the optimal structure. Tabular format is really where you want to be. It uses the same data, arranged in columns and rows, but with one crucial difference. The column labels don't double as data fields. Let me explain what that means. In a flat data layout, you might have separate columns labeled January sales, February sales, March sales, and so on. The month is baked right into the column heading itself. That seems logical, but it actually creates limitations. In tabular format, instead of spreading months across multiple columns, you'd have a single column called something like time frame that contains the month as data, January, February, March, April, and then a separate column for the actual sales amount. You still have your continent column, category column, but now the time dimension lives inside a dedicated field rather than being scattered across column headers. This structure guarantees that pivot tables, sorting, filtering, and grouping will all work exactly the way they should. There's no ambiguity, no workarounds needed. It's just clean, analyzable data. Choosing the right structure. So when you're building your data sets, your Excel lists as we call them, think carefully about how you're organizing that information. Spreadsheet reports look pretty, but fall apart under analysis. Flat files work well and handle most analytical tasks. Tabular format is the gold standard. It's what I'd recommend whenever you're planning to do anything meaningful with your data.